Alrighty, so for today, Friday the 4th, I decided to move forward to 5.04. This one is called Parallel Lines and Transversals, but there's something in particular that will happen, which we're going to start looking at introducing the algebra. So when we did 5.03, when we had lines cut by a transversal, all we did was we learned this new vocabulary, what a transversal was, and then the angles created by the two lines with a transversal that cuts through it, which was corresponding, consecutive, alternate interior, and alternate exterior. So what we're going to be looking at today is parallel lines cut by transversals, and that's where the algebra will be introduced. So the homework assignment will be put up on Monday because I will not be finishing this lesson today. I'm just going to do very simple, basic algebra today, and then next week, whether I'm there or not, I'm going to complete the rest of the lesson with more complex algebra, similar to what we did in 5.2. So let's take a look then at our launch. So for our launch, it says facts about parallel lines. So let me go ahead and get my toolbox out. See if it pops up. There it is. All right, so our term is parallel lines. So what's the definition? It's two coplanar lines that do not intersect. So these two lines will never ever intersect. They have what we call the same slope. Arrows are used to indicate the lines are parallel. So the symbolic notation for these two lines down here, AB is parallel to CD. We use line AB is parallel, so we use two vertical lines that mean parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down on the side. So this means parallel. It's a symbolic notation for parallel. So AB is parallel to CD. And when we draw the picture to indicate that two lines are parallel, we have to put the arrow there. So notice there's an arrow here and there's an arrow here. Without those arrows, I would not know that these two lines are parallel. They could look parallel, but if they don't tell you they are not parallel. Okay, so just be aware of that for future reference. And again, if you need to pause to write down the notes, you can go ahead and do so. But again, I'm going to go ahead and move forward since you have the capability of pausing and rewinding as needed. Now, what I'd like you to do is take out two colors. It really doesn't matter what colors you use. I'm going to be probably using just simple colors I have here. Like I'll probably use a green and blue probably because they're easy. Or I'm going to use actually red and blue. So I'm going to use these two colors here. And then I'll go with that. And you can use whatever two colors you have. So for our explore, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw these boxes on your page here. Put box equals box. And again, two boxes where you have addition in the middle. So one box plus one box equals 180. Because these are the two things that occur with parallel lines cut by a transversal. Either two angles are going to be equal to each other in algebra, or they're going to be supplementary. They're going to add up to equal to 180. So again, I'm going to go ahead. I guess I could fill it in with blue right now. So for example, if I'm using blue equals blue is equal. But if I add a blue and a red, that's going to be equal to 180, okay? Also, it could be red and red, or this could be red and blue. So long as you have the same colors, they're equal. And if they're different colors in this picture, then they are supplementary. So if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then you get the following picture. Remember, right now I'm going to go ahead and insert the arrows to indicate that they're parallel. So draw two lines, draw the arrows to indicate they're parallel, and this pink is the transversal. I've been using pink for the transversal. Just a quick reminder, all vertical angles are always congruent and all linear pairs are always supplementary. So just something to recall. All right, so what scenarios we have? So like I said before, we could have blue. Oops, I used red, but that's all right. So we could have red and red equal to each other. We could have blue and blue equal to each other. We can have blue and red add up to 180, or we can do red and then blue equal to 180. So that's our combination of colors. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to write down some angles here because it says each pair of corresponding angles is, and then we're going to figure that out. So again, here we can write anything we want, however we want to. I'm going to go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So remember that two lines cut by a transversal creates 8 angles. And I'm going to go ahead and color these in. So right now, for example, I know that vertical angles are congruent. So I know, for example, that this one is congruent to this one. I know this one is congruent to this one. And I know that 2 and 4 are supplementary. So 2 has to be red and 4 has to be blue in order to make a line. And 1 has to be blue and red has to be red in order to, or 3 has to be red in order to make a line. In order to be a line here with 7 and 8, 1 has to be 7, 1 has to be 8, because remember, the two different colors add up to equal to 180. And again, 8 is vertical to 5, so we know that those are equal, those are congruent. Okay. So if we recall from 2 days ago, or if you did the lesson today and caught up, it says each pair of corresponding angles, this should say are, not is, should be are. Hold on, see if I can make that smaller. This should say are. Each corresponding, so like 1 and 7, they're the same color. 4 and 6, they're the same color. 2 and 8 are corresponding. 3 and 5 are corresponding. So again, I'm going to go ahead and write the pairs down here. So we have 1 and 7. So the measure of angle 1, I'm going to go ahead and let me see the next slide. Yeah, so I'll put angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Okay, they're the same color. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. They're the same color. And they're corresponding. So corresponding, 4 and 6 are corresponding. 1 and 7 is corresponding. 3 and 5 are corresponding. So angle 3 is the same color as angle 5. They are corresponding and therefore they're congruent. And lastly, 2 and 8 are the same color. Angle 2 is corresponding to angle 8 and therefore they are congruent. They're the same color. Okay, so each pair of corresponding angles are congruent to each other. 1 and 7 is congruent. 4 and 6 are congruent. 3 and 5 are congruent. And 2 and 8 are congruent. The next one is alternate interior angles. Remember, there's only 2 pairs of those. So the first one I see, notice 3 and 8 are alternate interior. Notice that they are the same color. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 8. alternate interior angles are congruent. And I also see another alternate interior, 4 and 7. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 7 because they're the same color and they're alternate interior angles. Let's jump to the next one, alternate exterior. These are the outside. Remember, the exterior is out here, and this part in here we call the interior. So alternate exterior angles, we have 1 and 6. They're opposite each other, okay, and they're not on the same side of the transversal. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 6. They are alternate interior angles. They're the same color. And 2 and 5, angle 2 is congruent to angle 5. They are the same color, they're congruent, and they are alternate exterior angles, not alternate interior. So 1 and 6 are alternate exterior, 2 and 5 are alternate exterior. And pardon the mistake, it's 11:22 p.m., so I'm trying to get this done for you tomorrow. Like I said, I'm only going to do part of the lesson because it's quite long, like 5.2, so I'm just going to do the basic algebra for today. The last one here, each pair of consecutive or same side interior angles are supplementary. So remember, same side interior is like 3 and 7 or 4 and 8. So here, angle 4 and angle 8, actually 4 is blue, so excuse me for a second. So angle 4 and angle 8. And then we have angle 3 and angle 7 are supplementary. So those two make a line, therefore they add up to 180. 4 and 8 make a line and they add up to 180. Okay, so all the rest are congruent and these are supplementary. And again, if you need to keep copying down, you can press pause, you can rewind as needed, and I'm going to go ahead and go forth because again, you have that capability on YouTube. We're going to continue using our colors here just to kind of review. Let's say if you were to take a quiz, this is something I would give. So here we have, if I don't have the arrows, we would say that these are non-parallel. But if I do have the arrows, then we say they are parallel. Okay, so be very careful. They have to be there in order to say that these are parallel. Get rid of that. All right. All right, so vertical angles are congruent. So I'm going to go ahead and use my colors. So remember, vertical angles, I'm going to go ahead and actually write in some, I guess I'll write letters, A, B, C, D, oops, right, E, F, G, H. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I use a letter or if I use a number or if I use a symbol, a happy face, a star, a heart, whatever. It's just the name of the angle. So right now it says vertical angles. So what are the vertical angles? I'm going to use red. A and B are vertical. A is vertical to B, and they are equal. E, we also have E and F. They are also vertical. they are equal. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. Oops, I need these. Okay, two more of these because there's two more vertical angles in the picture. All right, so we have a D and C. So I'll put C and D. Those are going to be in blue. Oops. And then we have, oops, they should be blue. What had happened? Okay. Blue, and this is going to be blue also. And that would be G and H. So these are vertical angles are congruent, therefore in algebra they are equal. Oops. Keep pressing on it. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so those are all the vertical angles. Next, we're going to do all of the linear pairs that are supplementary. And there's a lot of linear pairs here. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a lot of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are linear pairs, the ones that are next to each other and create a line. So there's actually 8 of them in total. So let me go ahead and put that in, but I want to use that right there. So let me cut and paste. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if I could shrink these. 6. I'm actually going to put this one in its place there. I need to shrink these. Order front. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can copy that one instead. Copy. Let me get rid of these. So that it fits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need one more. I guess I'll put them way back here. So that it fits the rest of it. All right. So here we go. All right, so all of the linear pairs are supplementary, so I'm just going to write them down. So for example, we have A and D, D and B, B and C, C and A. So all I did was I went around A, D, D, B, B, C, C, A. Those are all supplementary. They add up to 180. In the bottom, E plus G add up to 180. G plus F adds up to 180. F plus H adds up to 180. And H plus E adds up to 180. And again, you can go in and make all of the angles A plus D, B plus, okay, so we have D, we have D, we have C, C, and at the bottom, G and H. Those are all in blue and the rest are in red. So notice that they're two different colors, and we said that two different colors add up to equal to 180. Okay. Now moving on to the vocabulary that we learned in section 5.3, we're going to go ahead and jot down all the corresponding angles. And remember, corresponding angles are congruent. So in algebra, they're equal. Okay, so since they're congruent, they are equal in algebra. Make that a little bit bigger. All right. So all the corresponding angles, A and E are corresponding. B and F are corresponding. C and H are corresponding. D and G are corresponding. And again, I'm going to make these in red, and E and F are also in red. So two that are red are equal, two that are blue are equal. Okay, so those are all the corresponding angles. And again, they correlate with the picture that we used. Now for alternate exterior angles, they are also congruent. Okay, so therefore in algebra, they're equal. Alternate exterior angles, are congruent. So we have C and G. C is alternate exterior to G, and B is alternate exterior to E. I'm saying exterior, and I did interior, excuse me. Again, alternate exterior. These are the exterior ones. Let me write that down because it's getting late here, and I don't want to make that mistake again. So A and F. A is alternate exterior to F, and D is alternate exterior to H. There we go. So A and F are red, and D and H are blue. So let me go ahead and put those in. So all the colors that are the same are equal. Alternate exterior angles are equal. Now we come to consecutive interior angles. So that would be same side interior. So like C and E are same side interior. And B and G are same side interior. So notice that C is blue, but C is blue, but E is red. B is red, and G is blue. So again, two different colors when it comes to this picture. Two parallel lines cut by a transversal creates two different colors, add up to 180. So angle C is consecutive interior to angle E, therefore they're supplementary. So let me go ahead and write that here. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary. All right, and then our last one here, we got alternate interior. So we have C and G are alternate interior, and B and E. So C and G are blue, and B and E are red. All right, let us, then again, if you need to pause, you can go ahead and do that. Let me not forget and write this. Remember, alternate interior angles are congruent. I keep using the highlighter. Here it is. Congruent. All right. All right, so here we go to the algebra. So I'm just doing some simple adding, subtracting pretty much here. Either it's going to be equal or it's going to add up to 180, one or the other. All right, so first of all, what I like to do is I like to put the colors in to indicate the angles. So give me 1 second, just so that I know. Let's go right there. So I guess I'll do blue, 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 because those are the verticals going from top left to bottom right. Green, red, 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 and red. Therefore, it's easy to see. And then it says angle 1 equals 65. Angle 1 is here. I know how much that is. And it says to fill in the rest. So it says, given that angle 1 is 65 degrees, find the measure of each missing angle. So if this is 65 degrees, we know that all the blue are also going to be 65. First of all, angle 2, I'm going to go with angle 3. Angle 3 is 65 degrees. And I would ask, why is it 65? And we would say, because angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. That is my reasoning. All right. And then if I want to find angle, let's say I want to find angle 5, well, I could fill that in because angle 1 and angle 5 are going to be 65. First of all, they're the same color, but we also call that corresponding angles. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Now, I'm going to be honest, there's more than one way to do these. You don't have to follow just the thing that I'm doing. You can go to number 2, for example, and you know that 1 and 2, they make a line, so they are supplementary. They are what we call a linear pair, so you can use that also. So there's different ways to go about it. I'm just trying to get all the blue ones out. The other one, we have 3 and 7, so we already know what 3 is. It's 65. So therefore 7 is also 65 because, again, we call those corresponding. So angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding. I'm going to shorthand it like I said yesterday or the day before, I think it was. All right, now we have those. Now we can go to angle 2 and 4. So I know that angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. So if I take 180 and subtract 65, we get 115. That's what angle 2 is, 115. So angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. Okay. And now that I know 2, I know 6. 6 and 2 are the same color. They're also called corresponding. This is 115. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. Notice I use corresponding over and over again. Sometimes it could be something different, but the way I'm approaching this, that's what is popping up. Okay. So you can use the same rules over and over again if you want. And since I know what angle 6 is, I know what angle 8 is. Since angle 6 is 115, 8 is 115. Because 6 and 8, angle 6 and angle 8 are vertical. The only one left is 4. Well, angle 2 and angle 4 are also vertical. So that's going to be 115. Angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical. And again, you could have used alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive if you wanted to, but in this case, I just picked this way to go about it. Again, your answers could be different than mine when you approach the homework. Notice I only get 2 answers when I'm given one number. Okay, it's either 115 or 65 because it's either equal to each other or it adds up to 180. All right. For example 2, similar scenario, but now angle 6, they tell us, is 142. It's hard to write there. 142. I'm going to go ahead and I'll do 1 and 6, 3 and 8 in red, and then I'll do 5 and 2, 7 and 4 in blue, and then I know right now that angle 6 is 142, so angle 1 is 142 also, because angle 1 and angle 6 are vertical. I can do 1 and 3. 3 and 1 are the same color, so I know they're the same. And then again, we would say, well, what's the relationship between 1 and 3? Well, angle 1 and angle 3 are corresponding. Again, you can use other rules, but that's just how I'm approaching it. I know 8 because 3 is 142, 8 is 142 also, because angle 3 and angle 8 are vertical. Okay, and then I can also do, well, 6 we already done, so we did all the red ones. The only other option is if we take 180 minus 142. So that's going to be our next number. And we got 180 minus 142, 38 degrees. All right, so angle 1 and angle 5 are 180. So therefore, if angle 1 is 142, 180 minus 142 is going to be 38. So angle 5 is 38 because angle 1 and angle 5 are a linear pair. So again, it's important to know the vocab for that reason. And angle 5 and 2 are the same color. We said that angle 5 was 38, so angle 2 is also 38. And we say since angle 5 and angle 2 are vertical, then obviously they'll both be 38 degrees. We need now number 4, angle 4. So angle 4 and angle 2 are the same. Well, angle 2 is 38, so angle 4 is 38. And again, these are called corresponding angles. So angle 2 and angle 4 are corresponding. And then now to kind of mix it up a bit, I'm going to use 2 and 7. I know that 7 is going to be 38 also because angle 2 and angle 7 are congruent because they are alternate interiors. So angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate, let me capitalize it, alternate interior. Okay. All right. So again, only 2 numbers because they're either add up to 180 or they're equal. We got a couple more. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with, I'm going to go 3, probably 4. Yeah, because we're going to have to slow down with the other one. So I'm going to go with 3 here. Given measure angle 5. Actually, I'm going to stop there because I'll give some practice today on just the basics, just so that you can kind of play around with that. I'm going to leave a practice assignment instead of leaving the whole homework assignment. So make sure you work on that tomorrow in class. So that way you get the idea of what's going on. I will complete the rest on Monday. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause there and save. Okay. Um, so right now you have an idea of, what the vocabs represent. Linear pairs are supplementary, vertical angles are congruent. We already know that. But what's new for today is that corresponding angles are congruent. Therefore, the angles are equal that are corresponding. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Therefore, again, the angles are equal that are the same color and that are alternate exterior. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary, and alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay, so we'll continue on Monday with the rest of it. Just I want to go kind of slow so you get a little bit of practice because they get a little bit intense. With the pictures, I have to separate them or just draw a bunch of separating lines. And right now, I just want things to go slowly for section 5.4. So like I said, I'll do that on Monday. Hopefully, you have a good Friday tomorrow. Make sure you do copy down the notes that I gave you for today until where we stop, and then do the practice problems that are going to be on Google Classroom. So, miss you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. Um, I heard that some of you didn't know that there was work on Google Classroom, even though that's where I put all the work all the time. So your grade might be in jeopardy right now because progress reports are due soon. And I updated grades today, and a lot of you are missing a lot of assignments. Better get that done ASAP because those progress reports are going out soon. Have a good evening tomorrow. For Friday, have a good weekend. And hopefully, I see you on Monday. If not, you will go back to Google Classroom here and we will continue this lesson and see where we go. So, good night, everybody.